Okay, let's get started. The questions are Literature in English 2024 JAMB slash WAEC past questions. The first set of questions are based on general literary principles. Number one, the collection of images within a literary work is referred to as dash. Imagery, images, symbolism, caesura. Imagery is the correct answer here. Imagery is the term that denotes the collective use of sensory images in a text. Maybe when we talk about auditory imagery, visual imagery, tactile imagery, gustatory imagery, and many others. Images are just individual pictures, so it cannot be a collection. Then symbolism is when we use objects or actions to represent ideas, while caesura is a metrical pause within a line of poetry. Let's move to question 2. The leading character in a literary work is the dash. Protagonist, antagonist, villain, anti-hero. The correct answer here is protagonist. Okay? Protagonist is the leading character whose journey we follow, okay, while reading a text. Antagonist opposes the protagonist. The villain is an evil character, okay, but not necessarily the story's focus, while anti-hero is a flawed protagonist, okay, not the straightforward leading figure. Let's move to question 3. In question 3, we have a long narrative poem that relates heroic exploit is dash. Okay, the correct answer here, let's check the options: panegyric, lyric, ballad, epic. The correct answer here is epic. Okay, epic is a long narrative poem recanting heroic deeds. Okay, panegyric is a form of praise poem. Lyric, on the other hand, expresses personal emotion in a brief form, while ballad is a narrative song. It is often shorter and even less elevated than an epic. Question 4. A poem of 8 rhyming lines is dash. Quatrain, octave, sonnet, limerick. Don't forget, the correct answer here is octave. Okay, quatrain has 4 lines, sonnet has 14 lines, while limerick has 5 lines, with a strict A-A-B-B-A rhyme scheme. Okay, question 5. The event that make up the story is the dash. Okay, you agree with me that the correct answer here is plot. Okay, plot is the sequence of events that make up the story. Look at the options we have: plot, setting, atmosphere, theme. So plot is the correct answer. Setting refers to time and place. Atmosphere is the mood and tone. Okay, while theme is the underlying message or central idea. Okay, let's go to question 6. A poem that is shaped in the image of the object it talks about is dash. Concrete, lyrical, metaphysical, romantic. The correct answer here is concrete. Okay, concrete poem is shaped like the subject it describes. If you look at lyrical focuses on, musicality or feeling. Metaphysical poem denotes, a kind of poem that deals with abstract ideas beyond the physical. Romantic, you know, has to do with nature. All right. So let's move to question 7. The choir is on wheels to a convention. Illustrate dash. Okay. The choir is on wheels to a convention. Illustrate dash. Hyperbole, allusion, metonymy, personification. The correct option here would be metonymy. Okay. Metonymy. The wheels as used there stands for the vehicle. Okay, stands for the vehicle. Hyperbole has to do with exaggeration. Okay, allusion is an indirect reference. Personification is when we attribute human trait to non-humans. So the only answer we have here is metonymy. Let's go to question 8. Which of the following helps best to create and sustain interest in a literary work? Plot, rhyme, rhythm, suspense. The correct option here is suspense. Suspense keeps readers eager to know what happens next. Okay? That is why your interest can be sustained. You want to know what is the next thing, what is the next line of action. Plot, just like I said initially, is the sequence of events. Okay, and it doesn't guarantee interest. Rhyme and rhythm are sound patterns, okay, not primary drivers of interest. So the correct option there is suspense. Let's move to question 9. A narrative that extols the deeds of a heroic figure is a dash. Ballad, folktale, panegyric, pastoral. The correct option here is panegyric. Okay? Panegyric is a praise poem. It's a narrative praising heroic deeds. Ballad, like I said, tells a story but is not focused on praise. Folktale is a traditional story but not necessarily heroic. Okay, and pastoral idealizes rural life. Question 10. Ife is a woman of great virtue. She is a woman of great vice. Illustrate dash. Look at those two sentences. They are contradictory. The first is great virtue, while the second is great vice. Okay, virtue are positive behaviors, vices are negative ones. Okay, so we have antithesis, alliteration, paradox, pathos. The correct option here is antithesis. Antithesis is the balanced contrast of opposing ideas in parallel form. When we contrast two ideas that are not similar. On the other hand, alliteration repeats initial sounds, okay, especially consonant sounds. Paradox is a self-contradictory statement but not necessarily parallel. Okay, pathos evokes pity or sadness. So the correct option here is antithesis. Let's move to 11. The overwhelming confidence and pride that lead to the fall of the protagonist is dash. Catharsis, ego, hamartia, hubris. Okay, the correct option is hubris. Okay, hubris is excessive pride leading to downfall. Catharsis, on the other hand, is emotional release. Okay, we also call it purgation of emotions. Ego is self-esteem. Hamartia is a tragic error or flaw. So the correct option here is hubris. Hubris is related to pride. Question 12. The major divisions in a play are dash. The major divisions in a play are dash. Acts, chapters, scenes, stanzas. The correct answer here is A, act. Chapters belong to prose works, scenes subdivide acts. Okay, they are not major, they are minor. Stanzas divide poems. So act is the correct option. Question 13. All right, they ask us to read the lines below and answer the questions 13 to 15. Okay. Now to question 13. Let us read the lines. My heart aches and a drowsy numbness pains my sense as though of hemlock I have drunk. Okay. My heart aches. You can see my heart aches and a drowsy. Let's check that. Question 13 says the metrical pattern is dash, anapestic, dactylic, iambic, trochaic. If you remember, the answer here is iambic. All right, so let's try to do something around that. My here is a pronoun. You don't stress it. Okay, you don't stress a pronoun. So what we have here is unstressed. Okay, my is unstressed. Okay, then the next is art. Okay, so we have art is stressed. Okay, so what we have is unstressed, stressed. And when we have an iamb is unstressed, stressed. So the same thing, we go on with the other ones too. So the second one, unstressed. Okay, so with what we have here, the correct answer is iambic. Now let's move to question 14, still on the same extract. 14. The mood of the poet is that of dash. Question 14. The mood of the poet is that of dash. Anger, apathy, drunkenness, sadness. Okay, if you check the poem, the lines very well, let's go back to the lines. My heart aches. You can see that it is of sadness. Okay, sadness. Then to question 15, very quickly. The mood of the poet is that of dash. Okay, anger, apathy, drunkenness, sadness. Okay, the correct option here is drunkenness. Okay, because we have hemlock. Okay, we have hemlock evokes intoxication, like when someone is drunk and intoxicated. Question 16. A narrative composed in the form of a letter is dash. An eponymous novel, an epistolary novel, a novella, a panegyric. That is an epistolary novel. All right. Epistolary novel is told through letters. Eponymous novel is named after its protagonist. A novella is simply, a short novel. A panegyric, just like I said, is a work of praise. Question 17. The device used in "She gave him lots of cash and tender attention" is dash. Bathos, pathos, suspense, zeugma. Zeugma here is correct because tender, as it is used here, grammatically links cash. Okay, cash is legal tender. Okay, and affection. Lot of cash and tender attention. So, don't forget, bathos is a sudden drop to the trivial, like when you say something trivial. Pathos, pity, suspense creates tension. So the correct answer here is zeugma. Question 18. The Shakespearean sonnet differs from the Petrarchan sonnet by ending with a dash. Don't forget that Shakespearean sonnet has four quatrains, four quatrains, sorry, that will be three quatrains, because 3 times 4 will be 12, and then we have a couplet. Couplet will be 2, so altogether we have 14. All right, so the Shakespearean sonnet differs from the Petrarchan sonnet by ending with a couplet. Okay, and this couplet is heroic couplet. Question 19. Read the lines below and answer the question. The closing of the day is the beginning of the day. Okay, the lines dash are alliterated, are repeated, end, stop, run, on. Okay, we have the day. Okay, so we can say that we have a repetition. Question 20, which is the final question for this section. One of the important means available to a writer of a literary work is dash diction, fiction, stage, stanza. The correct option is diction. Diction is the writer's choice of words. Do not forget to subscribe if you enjoyed this lesson. See you next time. Thank you.